Sometimes being alone can actually be a blessing. This is Tammy C. Walker, the owner of Dreams Are a Reality. I created this channel to provide light and love, and I am sending you good and positive energy on this day. I'm coming out of Iyanla Vanzant's Acts of Faith book. This is a 25th anniversary edition. Also a #1 New York Times bestseller. Before I get started, if you like what you hear, can you be so kind as to subscribe to my channel, and please hit that like button if you would be so kind, and thank you. Sounds like I'm taking my friend Pandy's line. Sorry, Pandy, I'm not. Alrighty. Sitting in a sacred place means you must sit alone. That is Marilyn Omi Funky Torres. There are times when each have sacred blessings to learn. Reread that. There are times when we each have sacred blessings to learn. These are the lessons that will push us to the limit of our greatness. At these times, it may seem that others are abandoning, rejecting, or criticizing us without just cause. They are not. No matter how hard we try, we can't seem to do, say, or be what others expect of us. We can't. The harder we try to pull others to us, the further they move away. The more we try to fix things, the worse they seem to get. What we must do at these very sacred times is pull back, withdraw, and prepare to grow. Our lessons are very sacred. They are the basic ingredient of our greatness. To accept them, we must be open. To receive them, we must be willing. To understand them, we must be alone. I am sitting in a sacred place. If you are a journaler, or if you just want to reflect over this, where do you go to be alone? What truths have you learned about your sacred place? I'm just making up my own words. What truths have you learned in your sacred place? Are you using those truths? So, good old society. I always beat up on society, but it is true. Like, people sometimes think that it's cookie cutter, You should have kids. You would not believe how many times I get that question, and people don't mean harm. You don't have any kids? And then there goes the funny look, like trying to figure out, why don't I have kids? Why didn't I want kids? Never crossed their mind that, maybe that lady couldn't have kids. All women, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to create. They're not going to be able to have a baby. So you mothers out there, and I know it's not an easy job. Be grateful that you had the body where, you were able to give birth. And I know for some women, they go through a lot of fertility issues. And that's very tiring, also very costly, and it's emotional for the mom and the dad. So be easy on people. Don't be so judgy about the women that don't have babies. But society has it where you should have a partner. You should be married. And guess what? Many of us want to be, and it's just not our time just yet. Or, life presented itself in a strange way. I get a lot of questions. I was in a long-term relationship. We definitely were talking about marriage. And people used to be like, why you all didn't get married? And one day I broke it down real good for my god sister. 07, and I could even start back further. 01, my mother had cancer. 04, leukemia. I didn't even start my relationship until 08. So 07, I'm sick. 08, I'm still sick. We started our relationship. 09, my mother had another bout with cancer. 2011, 2012, my mom got deathly sick, and this is when she ultimately passed away. I was her caregiver, and my sisters and my niece, all of us, and friends helped out. So by 2012, 2013, I'm sick with a second bout of cancer. So you see, my relationship I wasn't thinking about getting married. It was like taking care of my mom all those times, taking care of myself. And by 2018, 2019, things just didn't work out. Still close to the person, and I'm going to leave that right there. But society, yeah, I did want to get remarried. I remember in 1999, when I got my divorce, I thought I would be remarried by '03. You know how you're like, oh, 4 years, I'll be married or whatever. Okay, it didn't happen. Here I am 20-some years later. And no, I didn't envision this. This is not quite what I had in mind. But here am I. Is it my fault? Maybe. Some of it. I take responsibility always for everything or most things. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes we can't control 100% the narrative. The beauty that I have ran into is being alone. I love my own space. I love that I went and bought a guitar and I can learn my guitar. I love that if I want to pack up a suitcase and say, you know what, Friday, I'll be in Vegas for the weekend. That's not somewhere I want to go right now. I want to go somewhere more relaxing. But I can do that. I have that option. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I can just pack up and just relocate if I want to. I can work in another city if I wanted to, if my job, if I had that type of job. It's a lot of benefits to being alone. When you are alone, you don't have to be lonely. One of the keys I learned when I used to be depressed, back in like '03, '04, was to get busy. And not a busy where you are just filling up time. Busy where you're doing things you enjoy. I remember after my divorce, us and my dad had passed, and the divorce, and a few years had passed, and I still was like really down, just sad. And I was like, I'm gonna adopt some cats, a cat, singular. And so I jumped online for my job. I worked at Kraft Foods at the time, and they had this online, intercompany website where they would sell stuff and give away stuff. Sure enough, this is why power of the law of attraction and your power of your mind, it really works. So I'm like, I'm going to adopt a cat. I get on the intercompany website. A lady is relocating one of my coworkers to California. She's giving away a cat. That's how she said it. So me and my sister run downtown. And me and my sister, we were looking at her condo. She had a very nice condo downtown. We were like, oh, this nice in here. It was hilarious. We should have been looking at the cat. We looking at her condo. Anyway, out pops. Next thing you know, she has 2. I'm like, oh, crap. I didn't want 2 cats. But I learned it's actually better to have 2 so they won't be lonely. And so sure enough, I go home with these 2 cats, a boy and a girl. And they changed my life. And they ended up passing away. Both of them had kidney failure. So I think I had the girl. I feel like I didn't get to spend enough time with her. That makes me so sad. Maybe 3 to 4 years. And then I had him, the boy, maybe 7 years. That was not enough time because those cats, they were so sweet. But what I learned was they lifted my mood. When I got them, it was like, oh my God, something to come home to. So that was pretty nice. So if you're dealing with being alone, fill up your time, but not with like silly stuff just to kill time. Find that show you really connect with. Go get you some good books. If you don't want to read, do the audibles. I gotta exercise. I'm the type that don't like exercising, but God knows I must. In the spring, summer, fall, I walk more than anything. And I'm definitely an outside type of person. Everybody know, or some people know, I shouldn't say everybody know. People know I like to play tennis. Tennis requires a partner. I did find a partner this summer. We played one time last summer. So, never know what this summer may bring. Which is another reason why I like hanging out with my great nephews, because they're boys, 5 and 10, and the 16-year-old. He don't like to do. You know how teens are, they're a little different. But they like to have fun. So that keeps me young, and my sister and my brother-in-law and their mom and dad. But if you are alone, use this time as your chance to start school as your chance to start your side business that you always wanted to start, as your chance to check in on some people, give them a call, maybe go visit a relative you haven't seen in a while. Don't look at it like gloom and doom, or when am I going to get married, or when am I going to have my person. I agree with you all. God made us all relational, and that is a desire of mine as well. And be careful. So if you do the get busy thing, just kind of watch it, because that too can be a thing where you're so busy that you don't even have time for anybody new. So sometimes I feel like that, like, oh, I'm so busy. Would I even notice if somebody did want to date me? I don't know. Trust me, I probably would. But again, where is your sacred place? Do you get to meditate? Do you get to journal? Get to light a candle and just be in solitude? Some people can't do that, believe it or not. Some people can't be alone. They can't do things alone. Oh, I'm so glad I got broken up from that long time ago. I am so glad, because being codependent on somebody or always have to have somebody around, it's not really good, because guess why? People are fickle. They have their own problems. And I know, like, in relationship stuff, people get mad when somebody break up with them. I know I do. I did. But then once the smoke clears, can you really get mad at that person for being maybe depressed or having to take care of themselves? Sometimes we just not able to be everything for everybody. I remember when my mom passed in 2012, I checked out. My boyfriend at the time was so sweet and understanding, but I wasn't a good girlfriend, because half the time I was mourning. And you know what? I was blessed to have somebody that understood that. But I did. I checked out. So give people grace. More importantly, give yourself grace. If you are alone, use this time. This is bonus time, baby. You're going to appreciate this. Go take your little dance class or stepping class, or learn to swim. There's so much to do in this world. Don't let society put the clamps on you and tell you you gotta be a mother, you gotta be a father, you gotta have a wife, you gotta have a husband. Yes, we desire that. God made us relational. But in the meantime, what you gonna do with your time? Tammy C. Walker, I am signing off. Thank you all for listening. Have a beautiful day. God bless you all. Bye.